Hi everybody. So today we are going to get super chill, super low key, super hopefully relaxed. All you need is maybe a block or two. I have a strap here also for just in case, and a wall. All right, so maybe grab a bolster or a pillow, even a blanket if you want one. And then we are going to make our way onto our backs against the wall. So let's just start maybe seated here with our backs against the wall. You can get comfortable really butting yourself up to this wall space, feeling your shoulders, your back, maybe even your head rest, where the hips press into the wall. Even the way the breath feels, this gentle rise and fall. And the pressure of the wall against your back. Just taking these first few moments to tap in, to bring us out of the lists, the other people, maybe even like the heavy emotion. Currently it's like holiday time, so a lot of energy going on, a lot of family going on. So just giving ourselves a space to breathe here, feeling the support behind us. Giving ourselves the space to tap into what we have control of, right? What we have, our body. Just giving ourselves the space, the room to decompress, to breathe, to notice our breath. Maybe even to catch our breath. And from here, go ahead and lean back into this wall space as you open up your arms and pressing your shoulders and whatever part of the arm that you can against this wall. Taking some deep rounds of breath here. Awesome job. And bringing your hands down to the ground. We're going to lean over to the right as we open up this left shoulder stuff and this left arm and pressing ourselves back against this wall. Feeling free to lift the chin or not. Maybe we keep our gaze down. Still trying to open up through the shoulder, through the elbow stuff. Before coming back to center, we're going to drop this left hand down, press ourselves back and open. As we open up through our right side, your arm can be bent, supporting the head, or maybe even you straighten the arm, pressing into that wall. Just whatever feels good as we lean over laterally to the left side. Bowing our spine. And come back up through center. And from here, we're just gonna fold forward as we send our hips back. So even if you have to like shimmy those hips back. Pressing into the hands, reaching through the arms and the shoulders. And from here, walking those hands back up. We're actually going to roll on over now onto our backs fully and utilize the wall for our legs. So I like to sort of lie on my side and sort of butt my booty up to the wall and then roll onto my back. I actually really like using my bookcase here because where the ledge is, it hooks perfectly with my heels. But if you're using a straight up wall, it can be nice sometimes to bring something, whether it's a blanket or a band or a strap around the feet, just to hold them softly together and keeping the soles of the feet flat. And just the arms heavy if you have a hold of that band. But it's not necessary, right? So if your legs can be heavy up on this wall here, then just allow them to be heavy. Once more, bringing our attention to the support of the wall. Feeling the breath as it moves through the body, pressing us into the earth, and almost, especially on the exhales, allowing us to become heavier and heavier and heavier into the floor. So our practice today is more of a yin styled practice, more restorative, decompressive. So I just invite you here as we hold our positions to breathe naturally in and out through the nose. And if you find your mind is doing the monkey mind thing, see if you can just bring yourself back to the sensations within your body, back to your breath. Back to this this idea that the inhales here can help us create more space, and that our exhales can help us take up that space. And in these types of practices, also trying to maybe practice that non-judgment against how our bodies may feel in these certain positions. Hoping that they're comfortable, right? But if something's a little difficult or not so comfortable, using the breath to take us to a space where we can still breathe. And as the legs get heavier here, we're actually going to allow them to get even heavier as we come into either this supported happy baby, allowing those knees to open to the armpits and the soles of the feet to still stay up towards the sky. Or maybe you'd like to come into Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. We're going to be here for a few minutes, so maybe even playing with both of them. Now in this wide leg position against the wall, I like to use blocks. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. I prop these blocks up under my thighs. Sometimes I use my hands to help hold them in place. And sometimes I just don't want to stay there. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of wiggling around for things to work. Bringing yourself within the body and seeing if you can notice if and where you're holding on to tension. Almost as if it's those spaces within the body that are almost holding their breath. And notice if you are actually physically holding your breath as we move from position to position. And see if you can come back to your inhales and your exhales. I'm going to transition my feet into that Baddha Konasana. So here, and if you're already there, you might have noticed, right, that the feet come closer towards the groin. as gravity starts to weigh heavier on them. With these types of practices, I also like to practice mostly eyes closed. When we take the senses of the eyes out of the equation, the other senses get to become a little bit more aware. So I feel like it helps bring me into my body a little bit more. And from here, we're going to slowly straighten the legs, maybe even use our hands to help us out if we need to. As we open up our legs nice and wide, going as wide as we'd like to go. And now, if the blocks don't help you here, hold the legs up. Maybe the hands can hold the legs up for you, just softly, gently. So just playing around with where you need to be here in this supported, wall-supported, wide leg straddle. Breathing into more of the deeper parts of the groin and the adductors. That inner thigh. And even that medial tissue of the hamstrings. And we still want to try to allow our legs to be heavy here. I find, even especially right now, my body is trying to hold on. And we're here just a little bit longer. Maybe noticing how heavy the legs have become. Noticing the rhythm of the breath. And from here, we're going to engage through our legs a little bit, really trying to straighten them out. And we're going to begin to press our heels with a little bit of effort into the wall. Pressing our heels down, seeing if we can get a connection between our heels, the whole backs of the legs, the hamstrings, maybe even the groin stuff, the glutes. Continuing to press down for another few more rounds of breath here. And slowly, gently relax, allowing those legs to become heavy once more. Maybe noticing if they release a little bit more. And we're going to do that one more time, okay? So re-energize through your legs here so you're really straightening them out. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, press them down into the wall. You may feel the kneecaps lift as the whole backs of the legs turn on. Seeing if you can really connect with that whole posterior tissue of the legs. For another deep breath in, really press, really drive those legs into the wall, and then relax. Slowly, gently bending them, bringing them in, and in towards your chest. From here, we're just going to wiggle back away from the wall slightly until we can really bring those knees in and rock ourselves gently side to side. The feet are going to come to the wall, and we're going to bring the right ankle over the left thigh, the left knee. Now if you have to shimmy back a little bit more, I'm inviting you to shimmy back away a little bit more. We're going to push gently the right hand into this the right knee, the right thigh. So we're pushing this thigh away from us. So right now, this is targeting, at least for me, my right outer hip. This glute on the right side. If you'd like to give yourself some ankle rolls on the right foot, you can. And then we'll reverse direction, just making sure we go both ways. Now from here, we're going to begin to press our right ankle stuff into our left knee, as if we're trying to rotate our hip internally and bring this right foot back to where it started on the wall. Okay? And as we do this, you'll feel the outer hip turn on a little bit. And I also want you to pull this left knee up into the foot. So these two limbs are fighting one another. And you can keep your right hand where it is on that right thigh to add as another blockage. All right, so we're just trying to create a little bit of effort in our right outer hip here. Rotating this thigh, or attempting to rotate our thigh in. For another round of breath. And then reverse this effort and try to drive your right thigh farther away from you. So you're trying to get more stretch sensation. Let the thigh do it, so keep your hand out of the equation. So we're just using that effort and energy in our right hip for another full breath in. And out, let's stay. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Ooh, slowly, gently relax. We're going to turn our position here into a supine twist. So we're going to drop our thighs over to the left. That right foot will come on the ground. And we can open up this right arm out to the right side. Feeling free to turn our eyes and our gaze, our neck over to the right side as well. And just taking about another moment or two here. We're going to hug our knees back in through center as we come out of our supine twists. Go ahead and just bring both feet to the wall. And we're going to press into that wall and bridge our hips up towards the sky. And exhale slowly, gently, lower back down. So think about pressing your feet in, but also down slightly. So you feel the backs of the legs turn on. And slowly, gently lowering back down. Give yourself a few rounds of this. Bridging our hips. Almost attempting that segmentation of that spine, that segmental bridge. If you take any of the mobility classes that we work on quite a bit on, the segmentation of the spine. And doing this segmented bridge against the wall. It's one of my favorite variations. really helps me tap into my legs and deload that low back space. Give yourself one more round. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower down. And from here we'll bring our left ankle over top of our right thigh. We can push our hand into this left knee if we need a little bit more stretch sensation. If you already have enough here, that's beautiful, that's fine. You can make this stretch more by simply scooting a little closer to the wall, right? Or even farther away if you need a little less stretch. I just like to use my hand as a prop. And we can always roll that left ankle here. If you feel called one direction and then the other direction, letting gravity play with a little bit different loading on that foot as we articulate it through space. And then from here, we're going to slowly begin to put a little tension into this left outer hip. We're going to rotate that thigh in as we press our foot into our ankle, left ankle stuff, into our right thigh. And we're going to pull that right thigh up into our left ankle, creating one of our blocks. The left hand stays around the left thigh stuff and blocks this thigh from pulling in towards us. See if you can connect with your outer hip, essentially as we're trying to rotate this leg bone internally. Should feel that outer hip, outer glute turn on. For another deep breath in and out. And then reverse this action as you try to pull your thigh farther forward, so away from you, towards the wall. Trying to open up this hip, trying to externally rotate this hip even more. Letting the hip do the work, not that left hand. Squeezing with all the might of that left hip for another full breath in and full breath out. And slowly, gently relax. From here, we're going to drop down onto the right side with our thighs, our legs, keeping them in this figure 4. As we open up our left arm, maybe even looking towards that left hand. And from here, we're slowly going to roll completely over to that right side. Just cradling our head with our arm or hand. Just taking a moment here on our right side body. And then slowly, gently, go ahead and press yourself up to a tabletop position, coming fully off of that wall. Maybe straighten the legs a few times. Feeling free to find your cow and cat. Flexion and extension of the spine. And really any movement that sounds like it would feel good for you here. Just trying to be in tune with what your body needs, what your body's asking you. And just for a moment longer, I feel like so often when I'm teaching like in real life classes or in them myself, a lot of people completely look towards the instructor for every movement that us as students like need to be doing, or we almost feel like, well, what I'm doing has to look exactly like what they're doing. But I really, really like to invite people to take the time to get within themselves and become aware of what their body's asking them for. So we're going to end in child's pose, right? If you feel called, dropping those hips down towards the heels and reaching those arms forward. As we tuck the chin in, allowing that forehead to be heavy, to drop. Allowing the chest to rest. And if the forehead doesn't touch the ground, maybe bring a block under your forehead. Feeling how the spine rounds. And how the shoulders just naturally want to fall away from one another towards the ground, maybe even towards your ears a little bit. Breathing into the back and the sides of the hips. Taking one more moment here, really stretching and lengthening those fingers and arms as far forward as you can, looking forward towards the fingers. And then walk those hands back towards your hips. Sitting up in a comfortable position, and just bring the hands on the body, whether it's on the thighs, on the chest, the belly, maybe even the heart space. Eyes can be closed. Feel the weight of your hands. Notice how the mind, how the body, maybe even the spirit, right, that subtle body feels after taking the space for ourselves. Taking up room. Taking up room without judgment. Taking time to ease in, to decompress, to tap in. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Have a beautiful day. Oh.